What would you say if I tell you that there are quite a bunch of proofs that both Americas were visited by Europeans about 2,700 years before Mr. Columbus? And not only visited, but the traffic between the continents across the Atlantic Ocean was really heavy. I have proofs, and I'm going to present them to you. Unlike I did in my previous videos, I'm not going to do a full-fledged lecture. People are lazy, they're not going to listen to it for an hour or more. So that's why I decided to split it into a series of smaller videos, each dedicated one concrete proof, one concrete example of what I'm going to insist on. And if you are interested, just follow this sequence of small videos starting from today. So you need to keep in mind a couple of things. The main objective of my work, of the project Between Two Iberias, that's a Ukrainian project. I'm Ukrainian, and I'm recording it from Ukraine now in the middle of the war. The main objective of this work is to prove systemically that the ancient world spoke languages of the Kartvelian family. Kartvelian meaning Georgian, languages of the country of Georgia and on Caucasus, the same country that gave you the reason to call all the European people Caucasian. That's because of Georgia, and not only because of the appearance of those people, but first of all because all those people in Europe used to speak the same Kartvelian. They don't call themselves Georgian, they call themselves Kartvelians, and they call their country Sakartvelo, and they ask the rest of the world to do the same, to call them Sakartvelo. So the whole world spoke either this Kartvelian language of the languages of the same Kartvelian family, doesn't matter. But today I have proven it all over. I have proven all over all the Europe, all the Africa, many parts in Asia, including Japan, some places in Oceania, have shown the indubitable signs of Kartvelian origin of local names and words from the local vocabularies. But today we are talking about Americas, and how it was possible that Europeans, those who spoke those languages from the Kartvelian family, happened to leave such a huge amount of Kartvelisms in the local place names, in the vocabularies of the Native American languages, both in North America and South America. Just to let you know, my work consists of about 10,000 etymological articles that I have written throughout the last 15 years. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. And now the proofs that Americas were visited by some unidentified so far speakers of the Kartvelian languages. And we start with the names of the American states. You will be very astonished to learn that quite a number of them is present either in its pure form in the Kartvelian dictionaries, or represents a very clear, transparent and legitimate morphological construction with the clear semantical interpretation of the root. from the same Kartvelian point of view. The morphological structure is Kartvelian, the semantical interpretation of the root is Kartvelian as well. So the first name I would like to talk about, I would like to present to you, is the name of the state Georgia. Do you know what Englishmen did once? They did an incredibly wise thing, although mean, but still wise. When they appeared in America for the first time and they asked for the local names of the local lands, and they were told this land is called Georgia, this land is called Louisiana, that land is called Carolina, that land is called Virginia, that one is Delaware. Their reaction was like that. That's incredible. Look, many local names sound exactly like if they were English. We don't need to do much things to convince people that these lands belong to us. For example, look, Delaware. We have the guy, Delaware guy there. Hey, Delaware, please pack your things as soon as possible and come here. You're appointed governor of the new land. And after he comes here and starts to govern the land called Delaware, and we will speak about that land later, who is going to ever have any doubt that this land belongs to England, since it's King George, King Charles, King Louis, and some Delaware guy. But these lands never had anything to do with Britain. They were the local names given to these regions very long, extremely long before the Englishmen ever showed up in these places. So Georgia, a word directly from the Megrelian dictionary of Alio Kobale. When I say Megrelian, that's the western part of Georgia. Megrelian equals to Colchian. Colchis, Colchida, Colcheti, the very ancient land, and the language has almost remained the same from those times of the trip of Argonauts and from Trojan War. In the dictionary of the Megrelian language, the word Georgia, exactly Georgia, means lazy or slow-paced. If the state of Georgia can be called the lazy land or slow-paced land, I think that's a rhetorical question. I think the Americans know perfectly well why this land could have been called lazy land or slow-paced land. We meet this name Georgia a couple of times more. Herodotus calls the Ukrainian Scythians, they call them Georgi, Thessians Georgi, who live on the left bank of the Dnieper. But in fact, that's a long story. I have just recorded a video in Ukrainian language explaining this in full details. In fact, this Georgi word should have been read from the ancient Greek language as Georgi. And those Scythians, they were not Georgi, they were Georgia. They were lazy. They were Thessians who didn't till the land, unlike the Thessians who lived on the right bank of the Dnieper, who did till the land. And the country of Georgia actually bears the same name in English language, Georgia. Well, and we find this same word in one of the local languages, in Megrelian language, Georgia. They are sure that it was named so after the Saint George. I insist it is not so. I insist that since the word is Megrelian, it should have been used for very long before the Christian era. And I suggest that it was the name of part of Georgia, exactly the region called Racha. It's not lazy, quite vice versa. They have Huanchkara, the best wine on earth. They have Lori, the best pork on earth, better than jamon and prosciutto. The country is absolutely beautiful. But the rest of the Georgia kind of, in a pretty delicate way, they are mocking local people in their anecdotes, emphasizing exactly their slow-pacedness. So I think that was the region that was initially called Georgia, and then the name spread onto the whole country. Again, Georgia, and American Georgia, they all come from the same Migranian dictionary, meaning lazy or slow-paced. When it was possible for the American Georgia to obtain this name, I'll explain a little bit later in the next videos, where I will be talking about more American toponyms of Kartvelian origin.